before we start, that we take just this 30 seconds as a moment of silence to uplift all the lives that we impact and all the lives that have impacted us. We have 2,000 folks or so in this space, so if you can join me for just a 30-second moment of silence, and then we'll start with our drum line. All right, thank you. As we bring everyone together, our theme today is you cannot cover up our excitement for public schools, and you cannot cover up our excitement for Topeka public schools. And with that, welcome the drum line. into much length. When I started in 2016, he was a para. And when I met him and his daughter, let your daughter work for us now. Where's your daughter? Where is she at? Woo-hoo, Carter. All right. And I met him and his daughter. She was in the drum line. And then he was telling me, man, I'm a para. I'm driving kids all over the place. When I heard his story, I couldn't believe as a para he was putting, I don't know, most of the 24 hours in a day into this work. And we said, you gotta be a teacher. Shortly thereafter, he went through, became a teacher. I think first generation college in your family. First generation college. He's showing what's possible. And so with this piece, and we're still working on daughter being a drumline teacher, music teacher. Okay, he told me to say that. So with that, one of the things that we know that the drumline, they operate off donations. How many sessions do you do in the course of a weekend, a year? What does that look like? Just for people who don't know what the drumline does.
Over 100 a year. Over 100 a year, and we've been performing the last 4 days in a row, so it's great.
And most of this is volunteers and work for kids over 100. So Mr. Cruz, can you please step forward? We would like to present you with a donation for you and your drumline students to use as you choose. So we love you, we love our students. It's because of Mr. Cruz, a lot of lives have been changed, and it's amazing how many young people come back. We love you, Mr. Cruz. Anything you want to say?
I want to know how come this doesn't say Sal Cruz, it says Topeka High Drumline.
We also want to acknowledge our young middle school scholars who greeted us at the door. College Prep Academy students, wherever you are, could you stand for just a moment? Where you are in the audience. Thank you for making our entry special today. All right, I'm going to turn this one over to our Region 2 Teachers of the Year, as well as our Teacher of the Year finalists for 2023. Let me make sure I said that right. 2023, we have our Teacher of the Year nominee and our Region 2 Teacher of the Year, because for consecutive years for our county, we've had 2 of the last 2 years, they have been Region 2 Teachers of the Year from Topeka Public Schools. And so as they prepare to come to the stage, and as our drumline prepares to exit, I'll acknowledge a few guests who are in the audience, and as soon as they have cleared the space for you to welcome our teachers, we'll turn it over to them. We want to thank our board members that are here with us today. And the board members, I'm not sure all of whom might be in the main audience, but Ms. Boley, our president, Ms. Melanie Stewart-Campbell, I did see her as well, both of them. Mr. Lalo Munoz, Ms. Melanie Stewart-Campbell is our vice president, Dr. Bonebreak, Ms. Schmidt, Dr. Schumacher, Mr. Tatum, and the school board attorney, Ms. Whiteman. If you are a school board member here today, anywhere in the audience, please stand. Oh, there you go. Let's thank them for their we thank all of our leadership team members. Now, we know we have this time together to celebrate, so we're going to turn it over to our teachers, but everyone on the leadership team and everyone else that makes this work possible, and TPAC in particular for this space, thank you for all that you do in support of everyone else in the district. And I will turn it over to Ms. Dela Cruz, our Region 2 Teacher of the Year.
Thank you, Dr. Anderson. All right, hello, my name is Pamela Munoz.
And I'm Alan Lake.
And my name is Cheryl Dela Cruz, and we welcome you all to our TPS Family Celebration.
This is like the Oscars of public education right here in Topeka Public Schools. The 3 of us are incredibly honored and humbled, but this honor also incorporates all of you, all of our families, all of our community within Topeka Public Schools.
So we thank you for everything that you do for our students. We are going to witness a solar eclipse.
And in many ways, this has similarities with Topeka Public Schools. We, the staff, are like the moon in the solar eclipse, with our characteristics of unique backgrounds, experiences, and teaching styles. We cultivate diverse, well-rounded future citizens by fostering understanding and tolerance among students from various and, at times, challenging backgrounds. We may not always be in the spotlight, but we possess the power to create moments of wonder and illumination in the lives of our students.
Just as the moon aligns with the sun during an eclipse, educators align themselves with their students' needs, aspirations, and dreams. We step forward, casting our shadows aside, to allow the students to think critically, problem solve, and contribute meaningfully to their communities and the world. Topeka Public School students are inspired to create a beacon of hope that empowers them to achieve their dreams and discover their potential, their light.
And like solar eclipse, our impact can be breathtaking. We prepare, we engage, and we inspire, and we ignite curiosity, and we invest in brighter future for every single student. Every single one of us here today is a celestial force that is actually a beauty and a wonder in the lives that we touch and in the lives of our students that we serve.
And so we thank you for being the guiding lights and the eclipses of inspiration in the lives of our students in Topeka Public Schools.
And we are also honored today to announce the 2025 nominees for Topeka Public Schools Kansas Teacher of the Year.
Drum roll.
And the Oscars goes to the secondary nominee is Mrs. Diane Kimsey Tika of Teaching Pathway. So, is Miss Kimsey here today? All right, come on down. Woo-hoo!
And now we'll announce the elementary 2025 Kansas Teacher of the Year nominee, and Laura Klug of Williams. Let's give these amazing educators now another round of applause. They made their way to the stage.
I know the ladies are making their way down. I was going to say we can do it at the end. As they come down, we're going to give them their flowers and give them a warm welcome. Miss Kimsey, there you go, Miss Kimsey. Miss Kimsey has been teaching for over 40 years. So we nominate two individuals, and then from that nomination, then the state board determines who the Teacher of the Year will be for each region. So the last 2 years we've had a Region 2 winner, but we are excited to have two nominees going forward again this year. Mrs. Klug has been in many productions, I think right here at TPAC in some cases, on this stage. If you Google her name, you'll see her highlighted for the incredible musical performances that she's conducted and been in. Ms. Klug, how long have you been teaching?
This is year 30.
30 years. Did you want to make a quick comment, Ms. Kimsey and Ms.
I can't thank you enough. This is
is incredible, so thank you. It's an honor to be part of this squad with you three. Thank you, Dr. Anderson. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, T-Calc. Thank you.
This is unexpected. Thank you, thank you. Williams Wildcats, woo!
All right, as we give them another warm welcome and they exit the stage, we just want to share that every teacher is a Teacher of the Year, and it is our honor to acknowledge two special people that were nominated, who have been working 30 and 40 years in this work. Congratulations, and there was a request earlier about ending with the musical piece. Congratulations. And having our student who drove up here, I believe this morning, to continue his speech and to perhaps kick off some words of encouragement. And Miss Ross, looking where she is in the audience, is it okay? You have a high crowd over there. Miss Ross, is it okay if we conclude with you? Several people asked who know your voice, asked if this can conclude at the, as we get to the very end, can conclude with you singing to the entire stage in the theater. Is that okay? And that way we leave off on those words that you wrote for the staff. All right. Normally we leave off with roll call. We're going to be leaving off with the staff member who wrote a song just for you. And at this time, Mr. DeAndre Hicks, former Topeka High student, former drumline student, and he's been to several schools, Jardine Elementary, and I believe Scott Dual Language. Let's give him a warm applause to the stage. This is what you produce in public schools.
501, how's everybody doing today? Okay, we're gonna try this again because I did not hop in my car and drive 3.5 hours for y'all to give me some bad energy. So 501, how's everybody doing today? Yeah, listen, full moment of transparency, and I hope y'all don't judge me and laugh at me. I completely forgot that I was supposed to be speaking here today until my dad and Dan texted me yesterday. And they said, man, you gotta be in Topeka tomorrow. So I was like, oh. So I brought some of my friends from Langston University with me. Can I introduce y'all to some of my friends real quick? Brought some of my friends from Langston University. Y'all, these are my homies. I brought the Mr. NAACP and a business major from Langston University, my friend Terrence Keys from Chicago. Terrence, can you stand up, bro? Y'all say, hey, Terrence. And I got Mr. Gents with me. Gents is an organization building and grooming young men to be the best that they can be, young black men on campus. And I got Mr. Gents with me, my bro, Jared. Come on, everybody say, hey, Jared. And I brought my roommate with me, my bro, Key. Everybody say, hey, Key. Hey. Key, a little shy people don't understand. Oh, no, there you go, Key. Yeah, listen, I completely forgot, but I came up here because I said I got to be with my 501 family. Is 501 in the house today? Are y'all in the house? Man, it's crazy. Dr. Anderson was talking about this is the epitome of what public schools raise. And it got me thinking about the times when I was a little kid at Scott Elementary Magnet School. My first day of kindergarten where I wore a 3-piece suit, my little book bag and a little tie, and I was walking in and I was the mayor of the school. Then it got me thinking about the times when I was at Jardine Middle School with Miss Rowe singing in the musicals and with Mr. Hare. When Mr. Hare was getting on me about something, it got me thinking about that. Then it got me thinking, watching the drum line. That was me like 3 years ago. I was on the drum line with Topeka High School. It got me thinking about how much you as teachers had to persevere to build someone like me. What is someone like me? I am now in my second year at Langston University, where I have the privilege to serve on Langston University Student Government Association Executive Board. So that's the board that makes all of the decisions. And right now our university is going through a change where we have to pick a president. And I was just selected to be on that committee to pick the next president for Langston University. Because of you, my man. And it got me thinking, a lot of times, teaching often goes thankless. No one shows up at parent-teacher conferences. It seems like the students aren't giving their best. It seems like the parents are against you. If we can be honest, it seems like sometimes, hey, the state is against me too. Y'all know y'all wasn't gonna say nothing about that. Yeah, the state is against me too. But my English teacher said something to me when I was in my English class. He said, a river cuts a rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. A river cuts a rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. And looking around, we're at TPAC. The only difference is we're at TPAC instead of Lee Arena. But the fact that we have this many teachers here on a Tuesday morning in October means that y'all persisted through the first quarter of this year. That's where y'all are to clap. Y'all are to clap. You didn't have to deal with behavioral issues. You didn't have to deal with parents trying to fuss at y'all. Y'all had to deal with a whole bunch. But the fact that you still made it to this day, y'all ought to be celebrated. Because guess what? Y'all only like 4 or 5 weeks away from the winter break. Y'all only 4 or 5 weeks, and then that's the halfway. That's the halfway. See, I see Miss Gwen. She's pumping up her hands. She's excited. She's excited. Yeah. But there's an old African proverb that I learned at Langston that I want y'all to take away. There's a story of a horse that was old in age, and its owner decided, hey, I'm gonna bury this horse alive. So what he did is, he dug a hole, and the horse was walking and fell in the hole. Then the farmer said, okay, I'm gonna bury it alive. So he took some dirt and threw it on the horse. But what the horse did was, he shook the dirt off and stepped on it. The farmer threw some more dirt on the horse. The horse shook it off and stepped on it again. He threw some more dirt on the horse, and the farmer shook it off some more and stepped on it again. He threw some more dirt on the horse, and the farmer shook it off, or the horse shook it off and stepped on it again. Before you knew it, the dirt that the farmer threw on the horse was the very thing that the horse used to get out of the hole. I said all that to say, yes, you may have students who may not be engaged. Yes, you may have parents who may not think what you do is important. Yes, the state may not fund us the way we need to, but if we can use those negative energies and those negative things that life has stacked up against us in the education world and use it and shake it off and step on it, it can be your time. It can be your time for the first grade teachers who are building up those kids to matriculate in their academic world. It can be your time to all those middle school band teachers who are trying to find some kids who are in the marching pride university band at Langston University. It can be your time to all them high school teachers who are preparing your kids to one day go into the world to be a brilliant young mind. It is your time. So I leave you with it again. A rock or water does not cut a rock because of its power, but it cuts it because of its persistence. Everybody say persistence. Persistence. Say it like you mean it. Say persistence. Persistence. Now say this with me. Say I will push. Come on, say it one more time. Say I will push. Now I need you to say it at the top of your lungs so that Governor Kelly can hear us in the Capitol. Say I will. I love y'all, 501. Thank y'all.
All right, we know he's going back to hit the road momentarily. We thank him. As we talk about pushing and moving, one of the things that we'll be doing this year at Topeka Public Schools is a little different than what we've done in the past. The legislative session opens up pretty soon, in just a couple of months. Last year, we asked for full funding for special education, as did Governor Kelly and many others. Last year, they visited Jardine Elementary and Jardine Middle. Last year, we staged many opportunities for legislators to come for principals for the day. And I'm sure they'll come again, and still, they didn't fully fund special education. So we're going to push you all. Not just for that, but for the other things that shows that you need to invest in public schools. This morning, I was telling Cadis and T that you have no idea idea of the depths in which our educators go to serve young people. Whether you're the front office person, the cafeteria, on that bus, or in that classroom, or our social workers, I don't think people have any idea at the depths that people go. Last week I was speaking to Mr. Vic Williams. Mr. Williams, can you stand? And then the camera stand. Is Michaela's mother here? Okay, so she's watching online. Today will be the third memorial service in 5 days. Today's is regarding a family member of a student. And I like to make sure that 501, our teachers, our social workers often show up, and I like to walk alongside them to say that at every level, we love you and care for you, and we'll give the shirt off our back for you. I think everybody in our school system will do that. Last week, I went to a memorial service of an elementary student at McEachran Elementary who passed over the summer, and her mother wanted to have her service on her birthday. And it was during the board meeting. So we excused ourselves from the board meeting, and Ms. Sharp and I went there. Who do you think was leading the service? Mr. Vic Williams and a teacher at McEachran. It was the most touching service I've ever been to. He had his guitar. They had pictures of the school collected and created, and the entire service was of McEachran Elementary students and the principal leading the service with the teacher. And that teacher said some of the most powerful words that will be with me for the rest of my life. That was an amazing service. They ended with joy and laughter, and even had a good old water fight because their student loved water, loved to play in water. I will tell you that the parent, she said, Dr. Anderson, we are such a family. She is now a paraprofessional in her daughter's classroom at McEachran to continue the legacy and to thank you, to thank our staff. She said she's been loved on so much. The best way she can give back is to be a paraprofessional in her child's classroom. That's you. That's what you do for countless children. Then on my way out, she said, hey, and by the way, Dr. Bonebrake, are you here with us today? He's not in this space. She said, he delivered my daughter. And Dr. Schumacher was a pediatrician for my daughter, so we are really close. I just said, what an amazing family to be part of. It is humbling and a privilege to serve alongside you. And here's what I want you to remember. We will continue to persist and push and share why everyone should invest in public schools. Because for us, zip codes don't matter. We take every child that comes through our door. If they come in dirty, we clean them and feed them and educate them. And if we need to be the parent and the social worker and all the other things, you show up for that. So here's what we're doing a little different, and I'm going to send this out to all the staff. We as a county present to the legislature, and it's in November. This year we'll be asking parents, special ed parents, to join us. This year there will be other times in which I'll be going to the State House, unlike past years, to present on why we need to invest in public schools, where their lives and the lives of most people would not be if they had not invested in public schools. And I need a teacher advocacy group that can walk alongside me and walk into the State House and speak to legislators and help them know why we need their support. And I have their support. You know what? I should take the drum line with me, but I don't know that that'll work. So that email will go out, and if you would like some time off to walk alongside me in this space, I think we need to do things maybe a little different so that we get different results. And I said today to KSNT, if people don't know right now, as they have questions about the passing and the tragic death of Zoe, if they don't know right now why they should not invest in public schools and the young people that depend on us when they come in our buildings to have a safe haven, then I don't know what will wake them up. So that being a call to action in the space this morning, I will send out that email later today. So we have a parent advocacy legislative group, and I need a teacher advocacy legislative group, and together we are going to storm the State House and push for investing in public schools this year. Bringing everybody together, and then I'll mention a few of these awards that Dr. Kip wanted to make sure. We didn't get a chance at convocation. We did just get an email from the State Department. Commissioner Watson just sent an email, so all of our social workers and counselors and teachers, we were just awarded about 10 minutes ago an award for the Kansas CAN Award for social emotional growth. We received the Silver Award, and for individual plan of study. Congratulations to everyone that played a part. Additionally, test scores were not in earlier, but they are in now, and our graduation highlights all of our high schools. There's a historic district four-year graduation rate, almost 90%, and that historic four-year rate increase for students in poverty is now at 81.9% of those students are graduating, 84.9% for special education, Highland Park, Topeka High, Topeka West, Hope Street, and Capital City all increased in their graduation rates, with almost right at the edge of 90% for Highland Park, which about 5 years ago they were somewhere in the 60s. Woo-hoo to our Highland Parkers. And over 95% at Topeka High and Topeka West. Go Chargers and Trojans and Scots. The last academic piece that Dr. Kim also sent that I want to make sure to read off, as we did not have this when we have convocation. And see, here's the thing. If we don't celebrate each other and invest in each other and support each other, who will? So we have to take time to say, man, we're pretty amazing. Educators are rock stars. Public school educators are rock stars. So I'm going to read this list rather quickly, and we continuously applaud when I get to the end or throughout. For TPS, the schools that outperform the state, this year we had a third of our schools, seven of our schools that outperform the state. They are McClure, McEachran, Randolph, Whitson, Bridgeland, and College Prep. All outperform the state. And 30 students gained a seal of high literacy, 11 Governor Scholars, and the list goes on. We produce excellence. And without us, there are a whole lot of places people would not be. All right, we're going to turn this on over to our special recognition. Officer Jared Rowley, can you please come to the stage? Robinson Middle School. So there was a story that we received, and I'm trying to think, is there a better person than me that's closer to this situation? Well, there was a young person who had a life transition moment, and I suspect Officer Rowley, who has received many awards, can tell better than I, so he may want to add to this comment. He happened to be there at this moment in which this student had this medical emergency and a life transition moment. And he revived this student, and this student is actually at school today because of Officer Rowley. Schools. So every child is our child, no matter where you are absolutely beautiful. So Officer Rowley, did you want to make any comment? And Mom or Dad, if you wanted to make any comment, and we have a certificate of plaque for you.
I just want to say thank you. I was just in the right place at the right time. That was it. So Reagan's doing very, very well in school, and that is the most important thing. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
He's going to hold it together a little bit better than me. On July 16th, it was the worst day of our lives. We showed up to Washburn University to watch our daughter play in Sunflower State Games. She went on the court like every athlete that you guys see in your schools. She went to play the game that she loves, and she collapsed. Her heart stopped. She stopped breathing for 4 minutes. And Jared saved her life. He had some amazing helpers, but Jared spent 4 solid minutes doing CPR on Reagan and helping apply the defibrillator that saved her life. We spent a week at Children's Mercy, and we discovered that she has a rare genetic heart syndrome called CPVT. We will travel to Mayo in December to try to continue this path, but not only are we thankful for Jared, but we're thankful for everyone that is willing to step up and save people's lives in those moments that they need it the most. Coaches, you are crucial. You need to be CPR trained and you need to be AED trained because you never know when your athletes are going to collapse. And at 13 years old, she did. So we have something really important. Not only did we give them our Beast Mode shirts, this is kind of our motto for Reagan right now. She's going to recovery, but we also have a bear to give him before we get to Reagan. This bear is to help Jared get through his rough days at school. This is to help Jared get through his rough days at home. But this heart is beating because of him. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for what you do for your athletes on the weekends, even when you're not teaching and coaching. We appreciate you, and we can't say thank you enough to Jared for saving our girl.
For bravery and heroic actions in saving the life of a child at the Sunflower State Games. Thank you for all that you do. And for our family that has on the Beast Mode shirts, that's how you gave them a Beast Mode shirt as well. Thank you for taking time to let educators know the importance of what they do to save lives every day. Absolutely love you. All right, we're getting ready for our singing, but Mr. Allen, can you come on up? And this is just for a few seconds to acknowledge wellness. Okay, so on the listening tour, people said we want more time and wellness opportunities. So we created Time for Synergy. We put in wellness in 3 areas: economic health, economic wellness, physical wellness, and mental wellness. And the 4th one was nutrition, in terms of wellness and eating and cooking. And y'all tell I'm not all that nutritious, but it's wellness in that area, so that we have cooking classes and yoga and so many different things. So on the wellness piece, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Allen to share. He came in loving this. I said, what
So last year we did some Smart Shopper and Tria Health Zooms. If you participated, we're going to give away a Yeti cooler today. A bunch of names in there, I'll be pulling one. And the big thing is, Wellness Committee, we're just trying to get the programs out there. Insurance affects all of us. I mean, we don't want to see our premiums go up. So the Wellness Committee is just trying to get that. So let us know the programs we have, whether it be Tria Health, Smart Shopper, Verda, Amwell. There's a lot of programs and we're just trying to find more ways to get that out there and get more engagement.
So that everybody's name is in there that qualifies?
Oh, I got a good one. Dr. Robin Geiger.
Ross comes on. I believe there is a photo of Isaiah with Miss Ross. And perhaps I'll leave many of these words for Miss Ross to share. She was a parent at Meadows. Meadows, where are you in this case? Give us some love. Miss Ross is a parent at Meadows. She's now a college advocate. And this is the picture I took at Convocation some years back of her and Isaiah. Isaiah was a coach and a college advocate at Highland Park. Ms. Ross is a tireless advocate for being a transplant donor, being a donor. And rather than sharing your story, did you want to say a word or two rather than me speaking into your story? Okay. Unexpectedly after this photo, Isaiah unexpectedly transitioned to life. And he was so young that he was a donor. And I had the privilege, along with a small number of other people, to walk alongside Ms. Ross and her husband in the line in the hospital and to give Isaiah a sit-off. You see, we are family. There's no beginning and end to any of us. We are all connected. Mrs. Ross chose to continue his legacy by moving into the job that he had. She literally went back, finished what she needed to finish. So she moved from para to college advocate and has gotten countless students scholarships. And this is just her second year. She is an incredible woman, and she wrote this song for you. So the comment was, "It's your time." That someone said that. I don't think there's anything by coincidence. So the song "It's Your Time" is the title of the song that has now been produced. We'll turn it over to Ms. Ross. Let's give her a hand. That's not how it goes. Just give me a little bit more.
Life never said that it would be fair. The weatherman said the sun would shine all day, but everywhere you went, the rain flooded your way. So that's why we've come to guide you on your way. For it's your time, you can make the difference. It's your time, but you gotta keep on believing. It's your time, you can make the difference right now. Oh, my child, stop all your doubting. Don't let your decisions control you. Yeah. But when you decide Make the right decisions. Do it with conviction. Do it with pride. For it's your time. You can make the difference. It's your time. But you gotta keep on believing. It's your time. You can make a difference right now. Oh, I guarantee you the oppositions will be great. But if you keep on believing, keep on receiving, keep on achieving, it's your time. You can make the difference. It's your time. Just keep on believing. It's your time. You can make the difference right now. Whoa. Keep holding on, my brother. Keep holding on, my sister. Don't give up. Don't give in. Keep holding on to the light that's within. Keep on believing. Keep on believing. For it's your Thank you. I just want to say this. I thank God for this platform. I wrote this song over 8 years ago, not knowing where it would go, but I wrote it for education. Because we as educators, sometimes the path does get dark, does get a struggle. But I want you to know that it's your time. It's in you. You have to dig deep, but keep pushing, be persistent, and be consistent in what you do. All right?
It's your time in that right office around you. It's your time to our student who just gave you literally her heart. It's our time, the young lady kids who got a chance to pick the next president of this university. It's our time. It's our time to push and make sure that others that can invest in education invest in public schools. It's our time to be in public schools. So we're going to turn on, and we